Good morning, everyone. So your first lesson for the art appreciation will be the Philippine art. So we will focus more for your final lessons. We will focus more on the Philippine art also. And we're going to speak about the Philippine traditional motifs and crafts. But before that, let us refer first or discuss what is considered as Philippine art. The Philippine art refers to the works of art that have evolved and accumulated in the Philippines from the country's beginnings of civilization to the present day. So this is very known to all of us that before the colonization or before we have this different colonizations now, we already had the idea of what art is. And there are a lot of great evidences that would speak about or prove that even during or before the pre-colonial times, there are a lot of evidences that would speak already that Filipinos in our history already has their idea of what art is. So we'll speak first about traditional arts. In the Philippines, folk architecture, marine and transportation, weaving, carving, folk performing arts, folk literature, folk graphic and plastic arts, decoration, textile or fiber art, ceramics and other aesthetic manifestations of traditional culture are all considered traditional arts. Remember, class, that when we speak about folk, the word that is highlighted in the slide is it would speak about the cultural heritage of a certain group. Especially here in the Philippines, we have different ethnic groups that would speak about their day-to-day lives. So, ibig sabihin dito, yung arts na ginagawa nila noon ay may kinalaman or it is connected, rooted in their cultural heritage. And of course, it shows their livelihood also. Okay, so bearers of traditional arts can be nominated as Gawad Manlilikha ng Bayan or the Gamaba, which is equal to national artist. So if we're going to differentiate this now, for traditional arts, they are nominated or they bear the Gamaba Award. But for non-traditional arts, they have what we call the national artist or can be nominated as the national artist. Okay, so under the traditional art, we have the ethnomedicine. If you can remember the times when you were so young and you got scarred, meron dyan yung kukuha ng halaman and then didikdikin, kukunin yung starch and then ipapahid sa may sugat. Okay, so it means that ethnomedicine has something to do with plants. So the arts of the albularyo, the babaylan, and the manghihilot, usually they make use of the plants. Yun yung gagawin nilang medicine nila. Yun yung kumbaga, especially class, when speak about our prehistory also, usually andyan yung mga mahalaga ang kahalamanan sa mga tao noon. It can be for their medicine. And syempre may paniniwala sila na in plants, in the trees, mga ganyan, they have their own spirit. And yung mga albularyo noon, even in the present, meron at meron pa rin po sila. They still exist. But then in terms of science naman, no, they would refer na hindi dapat albularyo yung pupuntahan ninyo. Okay? Kasi it's either pwedeng mas lumala yung sakit na meron kayo or talagang hindi natin malaman kung ano talaga yung sakit na meron ka. Because they still practice the very traditional way of healing. Babaylan naman, they are women that is known to represent, no? Sila yung mga nunguna kapag may mga ritual. It's either to bless yung mga kanilang mga harvest, mga ganyan. And of course, they also known for healing also. And manghihilot that again, even in the present, they still exist. Folk architecture. These are the stilt houses, land houses, and aerial houses. So in traditional arts, remember again, it is rooted to our history, especially in the Philippines. Ito yung kauna-unahang tirahan ng mga tao noon. Okay, so sa atin, usually ang pinaka-known lang sa atin ay bahay kubo. But then, in folk architecture, it depends, no? Nagkakaroon sila ng iba't ibang disenyo, depende sa ethnicity na meron sila. For maritime transport naman, remember class na when we speak about this one, people way back then, the first Filipinos way back then, no, they lived in boats. Kaya nga po yung sinasabi nating barangay ay nanggaling sa salitang balangay. Because boats way back then it serves also as their houses. And maritime transport would prove or given evidence na way back then, ang mga tao doon dito sa ating bansa. Because if we're gonna see our country, no, if we're gonna look at the map, we are an archipelagic country also, wherein we are surrounded by waters. So basically, isa sa mga kauna-unahang livelihood ng mga tao noon ay, of course, by the sea, okay, by the waters. And ito ang nagpapatunay na ang mga tao noon ay marunong na o may kanya-kanya ng kalakalang nangyayari noon. So, we already had ideas of yung pakikipagkalakalan, pakikipagpalitan ng produkto, mga ganyan. Weaving, okay, backstrap loom, weaving, and other forms related to weaving. So this is part of the traditional art. Why? Because it shows the different, kung titignan natin, the different patterns, the different weaving that is used, it is connected to the cultural heritage of the people of different ethnic groups. Okay, and also you have a separate lesson for weaving. Okay, so it's part on the textile art, and we're gonna talk about that in your next lesson. Carving. Wood carving and folk non-clay sculpture. Now, if you went to the reading area, you can see some of the wood carvings that's there. Siguro, nakikita lang natin, kumbaga parang kung titignan niyo yung pagkakadesign niya, it seems like you can sit on that, diba? It seems like a chair. But then for those people who create that, it is deeper than being a chair. Okay, so later on we will see again no some evidences no that would speak about carving. Folk oral literature, yung mga kwento, 'di ba? Kapag kung nanonood kayo ng bata kayo, may mga panood, kwento ni Lola Basyang, mga ganyan na kumbaga it speaks about epics, songs, and myths. Especially when you were so young, you were so curious, saan nga ba nanggaling ang mga bagay-bagay na nakikita natin. Okay, 'di ba? Pati sa atin, saan nga ba nanggaling ang mga tao, 'di ba? Meron kayong mga folk oral literature noon na si Maganda at si Malakas, mga ganyan. So, and different epics also that would give us answer our curiosity. But of course, as you grow up, nagbabago rin po yung mga ideya natin. Okay? But then, folk literature is, of course, important to the traditional art also. We also have the folk, graphic, and plastic arts. Remember, hindi po natatanggal si word nating folk because it is rooted okay, to our history, sa pinanggalingan ng ating mga ninuninuan. Okay? So, pati yung folk graphic and plastic arts, the calligraphy, tattooing, folk writing, folk drawing, and folk painting has something to do with what is known to our history. So, sa livelihood ng mga tao noon. Also, we have the ornament, mask making, accessory making, ornamental metal crafts. So for us in the present, when speak about ornament, it is enhancing the beauty that we have. But way back then, in this part, no, in this traditional arts that we have, usually, why do they wear gold? Why do they wear ornament? Because of the belief na when they wear gold, okay, they can flee from evil spirits. Na kahit sa kamatayan, yan, usually naniniwala sila na lahat ng butas kailangang takpan. So yung picture na nakita nyo dito, usually you can see there gold plate, no, pang takip ng eyes, ng nose, ng mouth, ganyan sa crown, head. Para sa ganun daw ay makaiwas sila sa evil spirit. So kumbaga, even if you're dead, hindi ka na pwedeng pasukan pa ng anumang evil spirit. Okay, so yun yung paniniwala nila. Okay, so also we have the textile or fiber art for the traditional art. So again, I've mentioned kanina, you will have a separate lesson for this. So this one, if you can see this beautiful women, they wear headgear weaving. Okay, so this is a product of weaving. Basketry, fish gear arts, yung mga nets na ginagamit ng mga fishermen natin, magkakaibang disenyo man yan, but it is under the fish gear arts. And other forms of textile or fiber art, pottery including but not limited to ceramic making, clay pot making, and folk clay sculpture. Okay, so those are the traditional arts. Now we go with the non-traditional arts. The non-traditional arts in the Philippines encompass dance, music, theater, visual arts, literature, film, and broadcast arts, architecture and allied arts, and design. Bearers of non-traditional arts can be nominated as national artists equal to Gawad Manilikha ng Bayan or the Gamaba. Ngayon naman, sa non-traditional arts, ito naman na yung it encompass now, no? Yung mga kaalaman natin in terms of what is modern and contemporary art. So for this one, hindi naman siya limitado, no? For example, the dance, music, theater, it can still be used as a medium to show the traditional arts, the livelihood of people. But then, when we speak about non-traditional art now, usually ito na yung kumbaga, kaalaman natin of what art is. It is now your way of expression. It is now where the idea is more important. Okay? And of course, we have also the visual, the literature, film, and broadcast art. So we just widen the perspective of what art is. Okay? So remember, di ba, as time goes by, nagbabago po yung kahulugan kung ano po ang ating arts. Kaya nga po hindi tayo nagbibigay, no? We don't limit the definition of art because of different changes that we experience in this lifetime. Okay, so architecture and allied arts, if we see now from bahay kubo, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga konkretong tahanan. Why? Because also we have to go with the change, di ba? For example, the weather. We cannot, even if we say na napaka-presko kapag bahay kubo, ang ganda-ganda lang ng pamumuhay po, sobrang peaceful kapag bahay kubo ang tahanan mo. But because of the change, diba, we have this, for example, the weather. Hindi na po naaayon yung mga ganung disenyo. The folk architecture isn't fitted anymore to the present because of what we experience. So the floods, the different disasters, kailangan mas matibay. Okay, so also the design of our industrial fashion design, gone are those days na sobrang normal lang na we wear traditional fits. Pero ang kagandahan naman po, meron naman pong mga ethnicity pa rin, mga ethnic groups na in their day-to-day lives, living, is that they still wear their clothes, the traditional clothes. Pero sa atin, parang very, very rare na lang yun. For example, parang kailangan may program para magsuot ka ng traditional na kasuotan natin na Pilipino. Or, for example, sa public, usually sa kanila na every Monday they have to wear their traditional kasuotan natin. No? So, parang ganun na. Okay, yung nangyayari. Because of the change that's happening in our country also, in our surroundings also. Now, these are the evidences, no, na sobrang napakahalaga. Okay, there is significance in finding these evidences. Okay, we have the Butuan Ivory Seal. This seal is now known as Butuan Ivory Seal and has been declared as the National Cultural Treasure. But then, again, yung spell niya po yung titingnan natin is B-U-T-U-A-N. Pero yung engrave po sa mismo dito po sa seal is W, Butuan. Okay, so this is a native Suyat script. And wherein the discovery of the seal proved the theory that pre-colonial Filipinos, or at least in coastal areas, use seal on paper. So, pag nagkipagkalakalan sila, mga ganyan, or meron silang mga agreement, usually they make use of the Butuan Ivory Seal. So, again, napakahalaga po nito kasi dito natin nalalaman because before the discovery of this one, they believe na ang paraan ng mga tao noon to create, to sign na paper, mga ganyan, it is made of bamboo, mga stick, mga ganyan. Pero, sobrang ganda lang na they had this Butuan Ivory Seal that would provide an evidence na people way back then, di ba, parang sasabihin natin, though they didn't have the formal education, meron at meron na silang kaalaman paano sila namuhay way back then in our pre-colonial or in our prehistory also. Okay, also we have here Dr. Henry Oatley Bayer, wherein he is considered the father of the Philippine anthropology. Why? Because of his contributions and his research that would, okay, provide a great evidences. Now, way back then, Filipinos already had their own writings. Okay, meron na silang mga dokumento na written from the Suyat script also. But then, because of the colonizations, remember class na when we were colonized, And especially sobra po yung power ng church. So ibig sabihin lahat ng ideas mo, lahat ng kaalaman mo dapat rooted sa church. Kapag po may mga writings, okay, that is not connected or not aligned to the teachings of the church, they would refer that it is a work of evil. Okay, so way back then, the Spanish friars boasted on burning the ancient Philippine documents. And you know what? This is very, kumbaga, in terms of the historians, yung mga ating nag-aaral talaga noon, nagpapatunay, nagbibigay ng ebidensya kung ano ang ating identity way back then. This is, of course, a great loss because, kumbaga, ang hirap patunayan, especially now, di ba, in the present, ang hirap patunayan ng isang bagay na totoo kung wala kang ipapakitang ebidensya. Di ba? But then, of course, with the contributions of Dr. Henry Otley Beyer, he provided a great impact and evidence na ang mga tao noon, they make use of seal and paper. Okay? So, hindi po totoo kung may marinig man tayo na ang mga ninuno natin ay mangmang. Hindi po. They are very rooted no, in their cultural heritage also. And they have a great idea of how to live way back then already. It's just that, yung kanilang mga ginawa ay, of course, it's either nasira, sunog, or syempre may span naman po yung mga ginagamit nating mga materials. Okay? Now we have the bulul, or for other references it is bulul, okay, for Ifugao. So the religion of Ifugao peoples based on ancestor worship and the veneration of spirits and gods of nature. Okay, so 'di ba sabi ko dati kung hindi tayo nag-colonize, baka hanggang ngayon, okay, we do have our type of ancestor worship wherein we worship our nature, 'di ba, the trees that we have, the sun, mga ganyan. So the bululs are activated through ritual. The bulul guardian figures are believed to contain spirits capable of ensuring abundant harvest, increasing rice fields, and protecting against catastrophe. Creation of bulol includes Alwen bulol ritual by a priest. So ito yung process wherein naglalagay sila ng blood of animals also para daw mas mag-gain ng power yung status ng bulol. Okay, so the bulol is treated with care and respect to avoid the risk of the spirits of the ancestors bringing sickness. So ibig sabihin po nito, when you love to travel, when you go out elsewhere and you see this one, wag pong basta-basta kung ano yung gagawin natin. Because people, especially in Ifugao, no, they treat this with respect because of their belief na kapag hindi nila ito, kumbaga, if they did not take care of this carvings, no, pwede silang makareceive pwede silang magkasakit or, di ba kapag catastrophe, ito yung mga iba't ibang disaster, and they believe that this one would protect them. So, let's not be ignorant and of course, careful tayo sa lahat ng actions natin. Also, we have here the Sari Manok. This is a legendary bird of the Maranao people. So, it is mentioned here that it is ubiquitous. So, everywhere, kahit saan ka raw magpunta, makakakita ka nito sa Maranao, especially in Mindanao, no? Okay? So, sari means cloth or garment which is generally assorted color. So, ibig sabihin, when you see this, kaya po siya makulay kasi yun po yung ibig sabihin ng sari. And literally, manok is chicken. And kung titignan natin sa class nito, meron fish. Okay, remember kasi na isa sa mga pangunahing pamumuhay nila ay ang pangingisda din. And of course, sari manok symbolizes good fortune. Kaya po sa lahat ng pupuntahan nyo sa Maranao, hindi nyo po may iwasan kung makakakita at makakakita kayo ng sari manok because of their belief that it will give them good fortune. Also, you have here the okir. Okay, so kung titignan natin, it is a traditional Maranao and Lumad art form. It is characterized by geometric and flowing. Okay, so kung titignan natin, they also have here the okir adato for males and okir abay for females. So ang pagkakaiba lang naman nila is how it is done. So okir adato, it is more on curvilinear. And for females, it is more on geometric. At ang okir po ay ginagamit as a design also sa kanilang houses. We have here the torogan. Okay, so this is how torogan look like. It is a traditional Maranao house in Mindanao, Philippines, built for nobility and representing high social status. So, way back then, ang mga gantong tahanan, the Torogan, it is for the Datu or the Sultan because it shows power sa kanila noon. Okay? So, it is with a massive cost, steep roofs, and nakikita naman natin yung disenyo niya, intricate carvings, and it includes panolo. Ito, yung mga extended beams. Okay? So now, Torogan serve as community centers. Okay? So, or for important events and decisions. Pero noon po, ito po ay simbolo ng social status. Kaya kapag mga ganyan, disenyo, yan ay tahanan ng sultan o ng datu. So we have Burak, another Maranao sculpture in Islamic tradition. So yung ganito po, it is connected with Islam. Okay, because this one, Burak, this is described as a white animal, half mule, half donkey with wings. Pero kung titingnan natin, bakit kaya ito ay may human face? Okay, again, clarification, hindi lahat ng Burak ay ganito, with human face. It's just that some of the Islamic tradition, for them, example for Mindanao, naniniwala sila na this one, Burak, is depicted with human face. Pero hindi po sa lahat. And they believe that bakit mahalaga ang Burak sa kanila? Because they believe that Prophet Muhammad rode this. Okay, so ito yung sinakyan niya papunta sa journey niya sa Miraj. Okay, so fly through heaven in a single night. Yan po yung simbolo para sa kanila. Next, you have the Manungol burial jar. This is a very important Neolithic secondary burial. Now, if you hear the secondary burial jar, ibig sabihin, pag namatay yung tao at the body decompose, kukunin yung bones and then ilalagay dito. So, yun yung tinatawag nating process ng secondary burial jar. Okay? So, in the Philippines, now, if you can see the lead, yung takip niya, makikita ninyo na naka-ride sila sa bangka, mga ganyan, and then there are two people. This shows, no, ito yung nagbibigay ng evidence na may paniniwala sila sa afterlife. Okay? So, this is discovered in 1962 in Manungol Cave, Palawan. And now, it is now considered as a national culture treasure and displayed in National Museum of the Philippines. This is very well preserved. Why? Because it shows great evidences kung paano po yung paniniwala ng mga tao noon sa Neolithicong time, no, of how to bury yung mga namayapa na. Remember kasi class na when we speak about Neolithic, this is part of the Stone Ages. And Stone Ages is part of our prehistory. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga kapanahunan na wala pa pong nasusulat na ebidensya paano namumuhay ang mga tao. Kaya mahalaga po ang yung mga discovery ng mga archaeologists natin, no? Yung mga nahuhukay nila, na ito yung mga nagsisilbing patunay paano po namuhay ang mga tao noon during the prehistory time. Also, we have the Maitum burial jar. So, it has unique anthropomorphic. So, when we speak about anthropomorphic, for example, kanina, no, kanina yung sa last slide natin. Kung titingnan natin sa LED niya, sa takip niya, may mga structure na parang tao. Okay? So, kapag narinig nyo si anthropomorphic, it has human-like figures. Kasi titingnan natin, yung kanyang sa takip niya hanggang sa katawan niya, meron ka makikita parang parts ng isang tao. Okay? So, ang isa naman sa kahalagan ng Maitum burial jar, again, it is used for secondary burial. Okay? So, again, ganon, after the decomposition of the body, get the bones and put it inside. Okay? So, this is discovered in the Ayub Cave and sinasabi nila na nagpapakita ito ng resemblance, okay, ng pagkakatulad sa taong namayapa. So, kung sino po yung nilagay dyan, meron po siyang parang features na same with the features of the Maitum burial jar. Okay, so again, these are great evidences. Now we go with the indigenous art. So it refers to the visual art made by the native or indigenous people. So when we speak about this one class, it is connected with the traditional art. Kasi po, it tells a story. And of course, it is part of the livelihood of the different ethnic groups. Okay? So it is often symbolic and tells stories with pieces depicting traditional tales or spiritual beliefs. Natural materials such as clay, wood, and feathers are commonly used. Okay, so now we go with the different indigenous Philippine arts and crafts. First, we have the embroidery. Okay, so embroidery, this is the process of decorating. Okay, so in Lumban, a second-class municipality in Laguna is recognized as the Philippine Embroidery Capital. Ibig sabihin, dahil dyan, ito yung isa sa pinakaunang o kabuhayan ng mga tao na nakatira dito. So hand embroidery is used on fine, juicy, and pinya cloth. So even if we say that there is an advancement of technology, marami na tayong pwedeng makinariang gamitin para mas mapabilis yung paggawa nito. But then, of course, when we speak about indigenous, no, usually mas gusto rin nila yung hand embroidery. Okay? So, and hand embroidery naman, they make use on the fine, juicy, and pinya. Ibig sabihin po, mas manipis po yung tela. For example, kung alam kong nakikita na tayo lahat ng tela ng barong Tagalog, mga ganyan. So, it's easier to embroider. Okay? Mas madaling gumawa ng mga different patterns on that part. Next, we have the cloth weaving, a textile production procedure that involves interlacing. Ang pagkakaiba po ni embroidery at ni cloth weaving po, sa embroidery po, given na yung cloth, yung tela. Okay? Kumbaga, maglalagay ka na lang ng mga patterns o ng design na gusto mong gawin. However, for cloth weaving, as you do the pattern, kasama po yung paggawa ng tela. Okay? So, kumbaga as one, as they create the cloth, andun na rin yung iba't ibang patterns, disenyo na ginagawa. Okay? So, usually for cloth weaving, this exists among Ilocano, Ifugao, Kalinga, Itneg, Gatang, Kantanai, and Bontoc ethnic groups. Okay? So, marami po ang gumagawa ng cloth weaving. Basket weaving. Okay, so weaving or stitching pliable fabrics into three-dimensional objects such as basket, mats, bags, or even furniture available in various shapes and sizes. For decades, basket weaving has become an integral part of daily life in the Cordillera region. Okay, so parang sa kanya experience ko when we went to Baguio, and usually ang isa sa mga binibenta nila sa market nila is yung ganito, yung weaving, di ba? Yung mga bags, mga ganyan. And even now, di ba, sobrang parang nawiwili yung mga tao sa, pati maging sa mga furnitures nila is weaved siya. And maganda siyang tignan sa bahay, di ba? Sobrang napaka-cool lang nila. So, just imagine these people who work in basketry for decades. Ibig sabihin, sobrang, baka pwede natin silang tawagin master, no? That they do this by hands. Okay, kaya hindi po siya basta-basta, maproseso po siya kasi kamay nila mismo yung ginagamit nila. And as time goes by, kumbaga nakikiayon na rin sila na kung anong disenyo. Nag-iiba po yung disenyo ng paggawa nila. Okay? So we have the wood carving. Kanina yung bulol, that's part of wood carving. So a type of wood carving in which one holds a chisel and the other a mallet. So yung mallet nila para siyang martilyo. Okay? Yung kumbaga ito yung pangbigay nila ng power, pwersa sa chisel para mas mabilis yung pag-carve. Okay? So resulting in a wooden figure or figurine. And also, Paete, a Laguna fourth-class municipality, has been called the carving capital of the Philippines. The town was named after the word paet, which means chisel. Bakit po? Kasi usually talaga in carving, hindi po dapat mawala si chisel kasi nga ito yung isa sa pinakauna nilang materials din. Tool na gagamitin for the wood carving. And syempre, kumbaga dapat mas mahirap kasi na yung chisel na din ang gagamitan mo. Kaya yung iba, para mas mapabilis yung trabaho nila or mas mabigyan ng pwersa yung pag-carve nila, is gumagamit talaga sila ng mallet. Rock carving or incised drawing, particularly one created by prehistoric people, the Angono petroglyphs cut into rock wall in Angono Rizal are the Philippines' oldest known works of art. It comprises 127 human and animal figures that were carved on a rock wall before 2000 BC during the late Neolithic period. Babalik na naman tayo kay Neolithic, part of the prehistory, part of the Stone Ages. Kung sa ibang bansa, naririnig natin si cave painting, sa atin naman may rock carving. And this would provide a great evidence paano namuhay ang mga tao sa ating prehistory. Because remember, no, these evidences gave a great impact for us to understand paano nga ba namuhay ang mga tao during our prehistorical times. Also, we have the jewelry making, this technique for designing and producing jewelry. The jewelry industry in the Philippines is fragmented with cottage-type small enterprises, and Meycauayan in Bulacan is regarded as the jewelry capital of the Philippines. So, of course, from the open market we have, because of the globalization, ang daming pumapasok dyan no, na different products. But then, here in the Philippines, we also have our own jewelry making. So, it's just that nasa sa atin kung paano natin i-appreciate and of course prioritize the local product that we have. Okay, and of course we have the guitar making. This process of making a string instrument, guitars, especially those made in Cebu, are well known throughout the Philippines for their low cost, high quality, and durability. So if you love music, we have our own product also. Our country produces guitars or any string instrument also, no? That is very well known. And again, isa po ito sa mga kabuhayan po. Kaya po siya part ng indigenous art. Tattooing, art of making tattoos. The northern mountain tribes people of the Cordillera region known as Cordilleras or Igorots are best known for the intricate tattoos and rituals. So, indigenous po siya kasi yung mga pagkahulugan po ng iba't ibang tattoos ay may kinalaman sa kanilang pamumuhay. Maybe in their bravery of the battles that they went through or sa buhay nila. Unlike in the present now na ang mga tattoo ay may iba't ibang kahulugan for us, di ba? We give different ideas to different tattoos. Okay, so magkakaiba po tayo ng when we give definitions in tattooing. But then, for this indigenous group, it's part of their life. Okay, yun po yung ating indigenous art. So, that would be all for the Philippine art. Okay, so I hope that you do well and of course listen to this discussion. Okay, thank you so much for listening.